Let's check out some video games from the month of August in 1992. Up first, we've got a couple of Nintendo games released. This is Adventure Island Part 3. Little Hudson guy finally got himself a girlfriend who's being kidnapped here. This one was in the arcades originally. Things have evolved a good bit this year.
Yeah, I'm good on that.
No. In the original one, you drove a little skateboard around the arcades in the first one. Panic Restaurant is another NES game that comes out where you play a chef. It looks very Mickey Mouse Castle of Illusion or whatever. Here's an interesting one. Perfectly recreating the tale from the Bible. This is a game is called Noah's Ark, where I might have missed, a chapter here or there. Where
Why is he so dopey looking? Why is he cross-eyed? Artists knew what they were doing. Why Noah got...
I thought Noah was saving the animals, not taking them all out with a...
Well, what's he capturing? Is he killing them? Snails aren't animals.
A magic wand. You don't think... I mean, he had a couple of crabs there.
Yeah, it's a flood. And I see the water at the bottom. That's interesting.
Also,
check this game out. Travel around the world.
This is before Pangea or whatever you want to call it. So Noah had the modern... What a game. It's thrown in there just for...
what is that? Who is that?
I can't remember.
That's one of Noah's sons.
Right, I couldn't remember any of the sons' names. There's...
Oh, I should smack myself. Whatever, it's not like we don't have a preacher's son around.
Right.
Cass, you're up.
Sure, yeah.
Does this check out? Cass, does this check out historically? This is why I had to bring it into the show today to
He has the wings of an angel. Did you see that? He flew out with the power of God.
There's what are those things called?
Those Easter Island heads?
Yeah, the Easter Island heads.
So
what is happening?
Does he have to clear the board before he drowns or something? Before the water rises all the way up?
Maybe the premise of the game is like at the end of every level there's like a wooden plank. I don't know this to be true or not, but
is it safe to say that he's only killing sea creatures? What is happening is Satan.
You fight Lucifer as the final boss. This is a game.
Lucifer's looking like me with his beard and short fro.
Fight Wesley as the final boss, and you take something to the boat.
What did you take to the boat?
All those animals you killed to have lunch.
Great job, Noah.
Yay.
You
did it so well, saving humanity and all the animals.
Yeah, I just like it when...
Think about all the animals he lost, though. Unicorns. We needed unicorns, Noah.
This game actually was well revered, beloved nowadays. This is Tasmania for the Sega Genesis.
Yeah, I remember it, and like I was about to say, I'm pretty sure I remember this one, and I liked it.
Yeah, it's classic Taz.
I know I played a Taz game.
The odds are heavy that this was the one.
This is a little reminiscent of Crash.
Crash is a bandicoot, and Taz is a Tasmanian devil, but I guess they share a common attack strategy. Bulls Lakers is apparently reaching a different level of release at this point. We've talked about it a couple episodes ago. But here, this one's important. Let's see.
Oh,
here
I
we
saw
go.
the name already.
Yep, giving it away. This is by Midway and Acclaim. This is called Arch Rivals, right? This was
fun.
Yeah, and it's gonna in about a year or so is going to evolve into our beloved NBA Jam. So that's why this is a pretty important release.
So same company and all that.
Same company, the same. Acclaim and Midway. Yep.
Right.
Get an NBA license and it incredibly up their graphics game from what we're seeing here, but the spirit, you can see the early spirit of NBA Jam is here.
Absolutely.
You guys ever play Lemmings on anything?
I tried it.
Yeah, I feel
like
like
my bag.
Yeah, same here. I feel like everyone's tried it at some point or seen it at some point. It's like,
I don't think I've ever heard of it.
Oh, so the premise of the game is you have these little creatures. Yeah, well, there you go. You have these lemmings, these little people, and they're completely dumb. So you have to tell them what to do, and it's a puzzle game about getting them from point A to point B with keeping as many alive as possible. You guys may remember the blockbuster, super important release, one of the greatest movies of all time, came out last month, Universal Soldier. And with being such a great movie,
right,
is going to come some video game adaptations. So I would only assume that you two have both seen this film, because why on earth would anyone have not seen this film? So check out the game adaptation of it. Is pretty spot on. I don't know if you guys you had to watch the director's cut to see some of the enemies that may be featured in the flying
is this Super Contra?
The Robo Crabs. I don't remember them from the movie, but
what is this?
This is Universal Soldier, the game. Is
this? The game is low key cool though, right?
I mean, it feels incredibly Contra, doesn't it? But
it's like Contra and Metroid had a baby.
Had a baby with Jean-Claude Van Damme. And the game also is going to release faithfully on the Game Boy, and they didn't, they had a chance to do something a little closer to the film, but doubled down.
I'm pretty sure this is the way the book goes.
I've never read the book. I'm going to seek that out.
The film was not a recreation of the book at all. The games are really the author's original idea, concept. Bad dudes.
Close. This is Super Double Dragon.
Super Double Dragon, never mind.
Yep, on the Super NES.
This is a good one.
Yeah, Double Dragon.
You can hold them and beat them up.
Yeah, knee them in the head.
Could you do that with the first Double Dragon also? Could you grab a guy?
I think so. I think you would you put him in like a Muay Thai clinch and knee him in the head, or
somebody push start or enter 5 credits. God.
Another shooter, Axelay, comes out on the Super NES. Released a few months back, but I don't think we tackled it. So just to give a quick nod to easily one of the best games on Super Nintendo, Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. Is really making waves at this point. Didn't release this month, but is seeing heavy coverage this month. So it's like people have figured out that it's a good game at this point.
Yeah, I'm not a Zelda fan, but I put respect on that name.
Right, you got to respect it, right? As we discussed a couple episodes ago, Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition has hit the arcades, and it cannot be said enough what a big deal Street Fighter 2 was to arcades. So it now gets the home release on the Super Nintendo in one of the very few blows that Super Nintendo lands on Sega in this console war. They're not doing great, but they did get exclusive Street Fighter 2 for the first 6 to 8 months, I think, before Genesis catches up with their release of Champion Edition later. So
I believe you used to hold that over our head, because I was a Genesis guy, you were a Nintendo guy.
I was foolishly a Super Nintendo guy in my youth. If I could take it all back, I would, because I'm so Sega driven now.
If I've said it once, come to Microsoft. The water's better. And Sega was better back then.
When you're playing it at home, you're like, man, this looks exactly like the arcade. And it looks very good, but having actually just seen the arcade edition of this, it's a little easier to see now that there were some graphical differences. Looking at the arcade again. Yeah, this arcade again. And you see bigger character sprites, just a little more detail. Right. And then here's the Super Nintendo version. So, not as drop dead gorgeous as originally thought, but hey, you were playing it at home, infinite quarters, so that was the catch there. Jumping in.
So maybe there's something I'm missing. Why is it that the characters became so small?
Probably because the system, there's just limitations there. The arcade circuit boards, just the amount of megabytes that could be put into an arcade cart at that time were much better. So,
Sure.
or
Fair enough,
bigger,
okay.
bigger. So there you go. But it was a good port. And if you were to look at them not immediately after each other, it probably looks a little better. Decent looking game called Relief Pitcher was hot at the arcades. I don't remember this one, but it was baseball.
Nope. I played my fair share of baseball games at home. I'm not paying
Yeah.
quarters to play no damn baseball game, though.
Sega releases a game. Cool perspective here.
That looks super familiar.
Yeah, I feel like I remember playing this one. Air Rescue, just from the little civilians and their cries for help, help, help.
Definitely, right? Yeah, I've played this.
Help, help.
I've 100% played this.
Things are not going good for this guy.
It's kind of a cool concept, though. Get y'all's dumb fucking clone actors out of it.
Thumbs up. Thumbs up.
Get off the screen, stupid. You screaming the same word on repeat, and there's 50 of y'all that look the same.
Looking like Glass Joe.
Looking like Glass Joe.
The hottest game of the new release game at the arcade this month, which I feel like I remember playing this one as well. This is called Total Carnage. It's from Midway.
Yeah,
Something about the
name
look of
sounds
it.
super familiar.
Yeah, it has a familiar.
I
look.
remember this.
One of those games where like you
This is a
just
rental?
shoot in all directions.
Sure. It's just rental fun, right? These are really the best kind of games to play with
Oh, this is if you,
another person.
yeah, if you had a friend at the arcade and the quarter flow to make this happen, it'd be a super fun game to play.
Okay, so this is just an arcade game?
This undoubtedly had a home release at some point, you know.
Sure.
But I saved my most interesting one for last. Not often do I get a commercial for an arcade game, and one with such a great premise. Here is Atari's spin, like a hybrid Mortal Kombat Street Fighter Final Fight game. This is Guardians of the Hood. The promotion,
What?
yeah. How could I resist when I saw this one? It was a must-add. So I
What?
breezed through the games because I really wanted us to get a look at the
Does
promotional
this look
trailer.
familiar to anyone?
Absolutely not. I don't feel like I've ever seen this game in my life. You'll get to some gameplay footage, but it's really important for you to know
Eventually.
that the Guardians of the Hood do not miss a workout.
Pro show at Center City Gym.
Like the Power Team.
Power Team was a real thing.
What?
Why are they holding this bike for the girl? I'm so strong. I'm just going to hold this bike for this
The
chick.
woman wants a stationary bike. What are you going to do?
Hold that trick.
It has that, you know.
I do remember that. I totally
Oh.
played this game.
Well, you can rest assured that I'll be playing this game very soon because it just looks too absurd. Oh, Pile Driver. Oh, how can I not
Daniel,
try this
you
out?
played this.
Maybe, but I certainly don't remember it. I 100% would have put quarters in this if I saw it. So
You've played this. I 100% remember this. Look at this dummy. Get off the screen.
I would have played as this
Yep, I
Girl.
remember that check.
Cyndi Lauper in a subway beating you up with a bat,
Shout out to Cyndi Lauper.
destroying newspaper vending machines just because, ripping off the subway from Final Fight. So much action taking place in the gym. Motion captured cartwheel.
This is still This is still the commercial, right?
It's a huge commercial. You know, the commercial's never going to end. But my game of the month for.
What was that guy doing? What was he doing?
I have no idea. My game of the month.
Oh, okay.
For,
They're showing the blue screen work. This is good. This is kind of a cool commercial. I don't think anyone would have really appreciated what they were looking at from this commercial back then, unless this was like something at E3 kind of a thing.
Right. Then this calls itself a promotional video, so this was probably sent out to arcade buyers and that kind of thing to say,
"Oh, okay,
let us show you the future of entertainment, Guardians of the Hood."
I don't remember that name.
They even have the apostrophe in front of the H in Hood to let you know that it's short for neighborhood.
Oh, we appreciate that.